With just a few weeks left on the job, Energy Secretary Rick Perry is trying desperately to get out the door of the Trump administration untouched by serious scandal. But unfortunately, he is up to his neck in all this Ukraine stuff. Do you remember when Gordon Sondland volunteered that the White House's Ukraine policy was being run by the Three Amigos?
We have what are called the Three Amigos, and the Three Amigos are Secretary Perry, again, Ambassador Volker, and myself. And we've been tasked with sort of overseeing the Ukraine-U.S. relationship between our contacts at the highest levels of the U.S. government and now the highest levels of the Ukrainian government.
So Kurt Volker, former special envoy to Ukraine, EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland, and Rick Perry, the Three Amigos. Now, two of those amigos have already been deposed by investigators in the impeachment inquiry. Volker even handed over those infamous text messages that detailed the extortion scheme. Sondland testified and then revised his testimony to all but admit to the same scheme. Perry is denying in the press he knows anything about all that, but as of now, he isn't willing to say that under oath before the impeachment inquiry. So what does Rick Perry know about the Ukraine extortion plot? That is just one question for him. Another one is, what was Rick Perry doing helping to essentially land a lucrative deal for his own donors with the Ukrainian oil and gas company? According to a really wild new report from the Associated Press, quote, Ukraine awarded the contract to Perry's supporters little more than a month after the U.S. Energy Secretary attended Zelensky's May inauguration. Also, a document shows that the only competing bidder, known by the acronym UGV, offered more than $60 million for the first phase of the project, compared with $53 million, that would be less, from Perry's supporters. With more how much more weight this adds to Perry's role in the Ukraine scandal, I'm joined by Desmond Butler, one of the reporters who broke that AP story. All right, Desmond, so we know that Perry goes and he's part of the official delegation in May to the inauguration of Zelensky, and he meets with Zelensky, and it's established by everyone that they talk energy policy, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a strange thing. He's the top representative for the Trump administration at the inauguration, but he takes the time to meet with Zelensky and to hand him a list of people he thinks should be American advisors on energy policy.
Including people that he thinks should be on the board of their natural gas company, or is just advisors? I've seen it sort of phrased both ways.
Well, there's a supervisory board that really came from Western pressure to clean up the gas company. And he's was apparently suggesting that the whole board should be replaced. He's suggesting some people who should be on it. And at one point, he apparently indicated that there should be a representative who's good in Republican circles.
And these are people, some of those names, these are people that Perry has known for a long time, or sort of longtime supporters of his.
Well, at least one of them on the list of four, for sure. And that is the guy who just weeks after he handed in that list got a big contract.
So this guy, so Perry identifies this. He's on the list. Perry says, oh, you should think about these people. By the way, we should note that an American sitting on the board of a natural gas Ukrainian company is precisely the thing that the Perry, Trump, and the Republicans have said is corrupt about Hunter Biden. But that aside for a second, this guy's on the list. Rick Perry says, this guy's a supporter of mine. He might be good on your board. And then he gets an official government contract with the Ukrainian government.
Right. And according to Perry's office, he was promoting American business, not anyone in particular, and had no role in that contract awarding.
We should say that Perry, we know, was very involved in Ukraine policy. That's not contested, obviously. He has very much denied that he played any specific role in enunciating the terms of what we've seen in the phone call. I want to just play his denial of that. Take a listen.
Not once, as God is my witness, not once was a Biden name, not the former vice president, not his son, ever mentioned. Corruption was talked about in the country, but it was always a relatively vague term of, the oligarchs and this and that and what have you. But I'm quite comfortable. I mean, matter of fact, I'm extremely comfortable. Not did the President of the United States or any of his administration or his team ever talk about and with the intent of there was some quid pro quo.
That may be not That was from October 7th, so he hasn't had time to revise that. But what do we know about the extensiveness of Perry's communications with folks on the Ukrainian side?
Well, I mean, you know, that's his story, that he never heard the word Burisma. Vindman's testimony contradicted that, as I understand it.
That Vindman says that Perry actually was involved in specifically citing Burisma.
That he was in a meeting in which it was
Right.
discussed at the White House. That's how I read it.
And Perry's presence in that meeting is part of a larger involvement, obviously, in Ukraine policy, which has been accounted for under oath by the two other people that had similar roles, but not by Perry, obviously.
Right, correct, because he hasn't agreed to testify.
All right, Desmond Butler, thank you so much for joining us. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.